Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Friday's meeting here from Fanny Bay in Darwin, which will be the 22nd of March. We have only a 4-race card to bring you this week, as the Benchmark 76 1200 was cancelled at acceptance time with just 2 acceptors. The fields on the whole are a little on the light side, with the Alice Springs Cup Carnival in full swing, but nevertheless there are some interesting contenders down to do battle among the 27 acceptors. The first on the card is the 0 to 64 event over 1,300 metres. Time to jump at the mid-afternoon time of 3:15 p.m, while the last of the 4 set to go at 4:55. In the first, the Sky Racing Handicap, my numbers are 1, 6 and 5. Going here with number 1, Barragunda, from the stable of Gary LaFoe. He's had a couple of runs back, actually 3 runs back this campaign. He won 2 starts ago. That was on the 26th of January, so Australia Day. Then his most recent effort, he finished 3rd behind Son of Bilski, only beaten 1.7 lengths. Now, we've seen what Son of Bilski did last week in winning the St Pat's Cup. That was a Benchmark 76, of course, the St Paddy's Cup, and Barragunda, he's back now to a 0 to 64, so he's way down in grade. You'd only have to reproduce that performance of last time out on the 1st of March to be very hard to beat. So number 1 on top for me, Barragunda, for Wayne Davis and Gary LaFoe. Ahead of number 6, and that is Star Spangled Dancer. Jared Todd rides for Gary Clark. She was a bit disappointing, I thought, last time out, Star Spangled Dancer. That was on the 23rd of February over 1,100 metres. Finished 4th to Taekwondo. Wasn't beaten far, only 2.1 lengths, but Gary Clark's selected to step her up and trip this time to the 1,300. So first start over this trip. She's got one big thing in her favour. She's drawn the inside barrier. So if she jumps and can get a soft sort of lead, she might have a decent kick with a slower pace over the 1,300. So I've got her in to run second, number 6, and in for third, the stablemate number 5, Zarisky, Aaron Sweeney for the Clark Racing team. 2 good runs, his last 2 third placings, the most recent on the 1st of March. That was behind the Stiffmeister. He came out and has won again since the Stiffmeister, so pretty good form lines around Zarisky. So in the first, my numbers are 1, 6 and 5. The second's the Rowan Trobus maiden and 3-year-old Class 2 plate. There's actually no 3-year-olds in it, so it's basically a straight maiden event, and it is over the 1,200 metres. My numbers here are 8, 1 and 4. Going with number 8, Proclesi, been knocking on the door lately for trainer Phil Cole and Wayne Davis in the saddle. Only had the 4 starts in Darwin for 3 thirds and a 4th. The last start 4th was behind the Stiffmeister. That was in 0 to 58 grade. Only beaten 3 1/4 lengths on that occasion. Drops back to maiden grade and should be seen to advantage here from a barrier of 5. Number 8 on top for me. Ahead of 1, Full Damage for Casey Hunter and Chris Pollard. That combination, of course, won last week with Red Eric at long odds. Full Damage was a good second 2 starts back behind Witten. That was in a similar class race to this, a maiden and 3-year-old. Adam Nichols rode on that occasion. Shout out to poor old Chippy. Had that fall here last week behind the barriers and broke his wrist. So he'll be out for probably 3 months. So we wish him all the best and hope for a speedy recovery. But Full Damage from the barrier of 4 goes quick, and with Casey Hunter in winning form last week here, I've got it in to run second. And my third selection, a newcomer to Darwin in the Clark stable, Nassau County. Number 4, as we mentioned, Jared Todd aboard, drawn the inside gate. Not bad form to recommend in Ipswich, Sunshine Coast areas up in Queensland, such as those. Had the 16 starts for 3 seconds and 3 thirds. So keep an eye on number 4, Nassau County. I've got it in for third. Numbers in race 2 are 8, 1 and 4. The third is the highest grade race of the day now, the 0 to 70. It's the Sportsbet Handicap. It's over the 1,100 metres, and my numbers here are 2, 1 and 3. Forms of Fear. Well, didn't he create a good impression here 2 meetings ago for Gary LaFoe and Jade Hampson, who takes the mount again? That was an 1,100 metre race. This is 1,100. That was a Class 2, so he's up a fair bit in grade here, but such was the merit and the manner of his win. He won by over 12 lengths and absolutely gave them a hiding. I see no reason why he can't do it again in this 5-horse field. From barrier 3, it's just where he drew when he won last start. He'll go to the front, and I don't think they'll catch him. So number 2 on top, Forms of Fear. Ahead of 1, Pocket Pistol, Vanessa Arnott for Tayan Holter. First up from a spell, hasn't raced since Melbourne Cup Day. Did race well last campaign with a couple of wins, including one at Kununurra and one here in Darwin. So I look to Pocket Pistol to go good race fresh up. And in for third, number 3, another fresh runner, Soul Spirit from the Phil Cole stable. Wayne Davis aboard from the inside gate. Possesses good speed and will no doubt try and hold Forms of Fear out from the inside gate. But I just think Forms of Fear might have too many wheels. But Soul Spirit raced well last campaign, as did Pocket Pistol, so I've got it in to run third. In race 3, the numbers are 2, 1 and 3. And the last over the 1600 is the Anzac Day races on the 25th of April handicap. Always a good day's racing here in Darwin on Anzac Day. Anzac Day this year, I believe, is on a Thursday. So we look forward to that in a little over a month's time. Numbers in the last are 1, 8 and 2. Going here with number 1, Global Wonder, Gary Clark and Jared Todd, the combination. First try at the trip. He races like a mile will suit him, but he hasn't yet had a run at the trip. He's had 43 starts for 6 wins, 11 seconds and 9 thirds. So he doesn't win out a turn, but he's a handy galloper. His last run was good here behind Swingworth Jr. That was 1,100 metres on the 1st of March, so quite a big step up in distance for him. But he is dropping in grade. That was a 64. He's back to a benchmark 54. Only has to get the trip, and he'll be very hard to beat. Number 1, Global Wonder on top. To beat number 8, Rojo Boom. Jade Hampson for Chris Pollard. Haven't minded its last couple of runs. Seems to run on not bad. Has had form at this distance. Had 2/3 from just the 5 starts. So I thought Rojo Boom was a chance again. And in for third, number 2, New Enterprise. He ran last week in the St Pat's Cup. For Pete Stennett and Vanessa Arnott riding this week. Wayne Davis rode last week. He finished at the tail last time. He's been up a while, this horse, but he's certainly back to a far easier grade than he took on just a week ago. So he's got to be some chance to run a drum in the last. Numbers in the last are 1, 8 and 2. Best bet on the day, we're going in race 1 here, number 1, Barragunda. Race 1, number 1, Barragunda, only has to put a performance on the board like he did last start, and he'll be very hard to beat. Race 1, number 1, Barragunda. Well, the best roughie is in race 2, number 7, Gelata for Pat Johnson and Jade Hampson. Didn't mind its run here the other day, wasn't beaten too far. So race 2, number 7, Gelata, the best roughie. That wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. We now have a break of 3 weeks in the top end with the focus firmly on the Red Centre Carnival. Our next meeting here in Darwin will be another Friday, the 12th of April, which will be the territory leg of the National Apprentice Race Series. And we welcome 4 interstate apprentices to mix it with our own on that day. So it should be a day not to be missed. Until then, good luck and good punting.